My being cleaves to the dust. Give me life as befits your word. My ways I recounted, and you answered me. Teach me your statutes. The way of your decrees let me grasp, that I may dwell on your wonders. My being dissolves in anguish. Sustain me as befits your word. The way of lies remove from me, and in your teaching grant me grace. The way of lies remove from me. The way of lies if it needs to be removed from me, then it must be a part of me. It must be what I learned when I grew up and became adjusted, cultured, acclimatized, assimilated. What is the way of lies? The way of lies is everything we look at, everything we see. The way of lies is man and everything he creates. The way of lies is the pack of animals and the rules that they obey. What they aim to control for their own purpose. The way of lies is a system, and the systems that humankind creates and maintains for its own benefit. The way of lies is what the animal strives to do all its life, to find that level of assimilation, of acceptance in the pack, in whatever component of the culture one wants to be assimilated into, be accepted by, be accepted as. Whether it's just part of a family, or whether it's part of a club, an institution, religious or otherwise, or part of the elite, part of some elite component of culture. It's all the same, it's all part of the same system. And it's just different levels of acceptability and acceptance. The way of lies. The way of lies is introduced in Genesis 3, when God had established His way. Sustain me as befits your word. Teach me your statutes. God established His way. And this is a declaration of being, of existence, of God versus man. And then the humans established their way, motivated by that voice of that talking animal, the adversary, the way of man, the way of lies that the poet is asking God to take from him. The way of man and his systems, the way of man and his culture, the way of man and man's desire to assimilate, to be acceptable, to find acceptability, to find a position of honor, respectability, goodness, admirability. The way of lies, to find a group that will make him feel safe, secure, like he has a purpose. Whatever smoke screen he can participate in, that's what he aims to do. What is the teaching of the real God? In these words, beginning with Genesis 3. There exists God's purpose, and then there exists this other purpose, the purpose of the pack, the society, the culture, which always contaminates, the way of lies. What's the way of God? The way of God is David before he is great. Not after he's great, but before he's great, alone, a shepherd with his heart turned toward God, with his heart trusting in God to save him and to keep him. Not after the animals lifted him up and made him great, made him king, made him a hero and legend. After that he became contaminated in a way. After that he had too much power. He started the chain of events. Of the falling of the kings, beginning with his son, who he himself didn't recognize. Humans made him into legend, hero, because they need heroes to worship. They need superheroes. That's why the humans look at these prophets, people who are in these words that were preserved, and they look at them like superheroes, like incredible men of God, because they're enshrined, because that's what the animal strives to do.